and prepare your hearts unto the Lord, and serve him only, and he will deliver you out of the hand of the Philistines. Then the children of Israel did put away Balaam and Ashtaroth and serve the Lord only. Let's pray. Lord, thank you for today. Thank you for these guys being here, Lord. It's a blessing to see each one that's here, Lord. I pray that you would please, God, meet with us in the next few minutes, God. I pray you would take control of the class, take control of my words and my thoughts and my attitude, Lord. I pray that you would please just help us right now, God. We need your touch on this time that we have. We pray that you would please help the guys to listen and pay attention to what you have for them. I pray you would just give them each something that they need from you. I pray that, God, they would hear your voice through the preaching today. And, Lord, that you would strengthen us, that you would meet us where we are, but you would take us where you want us to be, Lord, and grow us to be more like you, Lord. We pray you bless the next few moments, God. We definitely really need you to touch us and help us with this, Lord. I thank you for your goodness to us. Thank you in Jesus' name. Amen. You can be seated. Thank you guys for standing. In 1 Samuel 7, and even in the previous chapters, the children of Israel are in a state of defeat, number one. Number two, they're in a state of basically being down or being depressed. The reason for that is for years now they have been under the oppression of the Philistines, one of the enemies that they had always faced back in that time in history. They are under their rule, they are under their authority, they're being oppressed by them. And because of that, in verse number 2 of chapter 7, the Bible says it came to pass when the ark abode in Kirjath Jearim that the time was long, it was 20 years, and all the house of Israel lamented after the Lord. To lament is to mourn, to weep, to be sorrowful. So because they were under oppression, because things weren't how they should have been in their nation, then these people were sad about it. They were down about it. And notice what Samuel does here. Samuel is the prophet, is the priest, he's a judge as well. He stands up in front of these people, verse number 3, and he spake unto all the house of Israel, saying, if ye do return unto the Lord with all your hearts, he says, then put away the strange gods and Ashtaroth from among you, and prepare your hearts unto the Lord. Serve him only, and he will deliver you out of the hand of the Philistines. Samuel's saying, listen to me. If you want this oppression to be thrown off of you, if you want victory in your life, success, if you want God to bless this nation like he once has, he's saying, listen, you better be real about this thing. God can give you victory. He can give you conquering. He can help you with this. But you have to be real about what you're doing here. And I like his statement here. He says, if you do return unto the Lord with all your hearts. He's basically calling them out and saying, listen, you say you want to get right. You say you're real about this. You say you want to serve God. He's saying, if that's the case, then you need to do this stuff. Yeah. And then he goes and he gives them instructions throughout the chapter here, and it turns out into a battle between the Philistines and the Israelites. You know what Samuel was doing? He was sending them out to battle. That's what he was doing. He's saying, listen guys, I know it's tough on you right now. I know it's difficult. I know things are oppressive and you're beat down in your state that you're in right now. But in this situation that we're in, you know what you need to do? If you're real about this, you need to get the false gods out of your life. You need to serve God only. You need to get your hearts right with him. And you need to go out to battle and realize that the battle may be tough and it may be intense and it may be difficult, but God can help you and he can help you overcome the Philistines and those people that have beat you down for too long. He's saying God can help you. Listen, the answer wasn't strategy. The answer wasn't tactics. The answer wasn't their weaponry. The answer was they needed to get right with God and be real about it so that when they went out to battle, God would be with them, not against them. Listen to me, guys. I was reading this yesterday in my devotions and it stuck out to me and I thought, you know what? This is the same thing we're trying to do with these guys. You know what we're trying to do, guys? Send you out to battle. We're trying to send you out to battle. You say a battle for what? Well, a battle for a lot of things. Battle for purity, your purity, number one. Number two, a battle for men's souls. Listen, if you live right and if you live the kind of Christian life that we're calling you and helping you and pushing you and encouraging you to live, listen, people won't die and go to hell because of your witness. Right. Yeah. Where it's a battle for men's souls. It's a battle for purity and integrity and for you to be an honorable and respectable man. It's a battle for the souls of men. It's a battle for the influence of godliness to be set forth. It's a battle for the tone to be set for others to follow. It's a battle for you to make a positive difference in the life of others. And the most important thing, listen, it's a battle for you to have God pleased with your life. Yeah. Amen. Listen, we're sending you out to battle. Listen to me, guys. We're sending you out to win. We're not training you to lose, to quit, to give up, to compromise, to give in when the battle gets tough. Listen to me. We're teaching you the Bible. We're teaching you what God says. We're teaching you that, listen, you need to be a soul winner. You say, I don't know what that means. That's giving out tracts. That's inviting people to church. That's telling people how they can go to heaven because of what Jesus did. And you teach them that from the Bible. We are teaching you to live a pure and clean life. Listen, guys. We're not into this stuff. You think nasty things about women and you just do whatever the world does. You listen to the world's music and you watch the world's TV and the stuff on the internet that's nasty and raunchy and wicked and filthy. That we're cool with all that. No, God's not cool with that. Therefore, we should not be either.
Right.
Listen, we're training you to win. Listen, we want you to be a man that is respectable and honorable and godly and that can live for the Lord throughout your whole life.
Yes,
we're not training you to lose. We're not training you to quit. We're not training you to give up or to fail or to surrender or to compromise or to give in when the battle gets tough. Let me tell you, young man, that you may be a ways off from this. But when the time comes that you start taking your family to church and that decision rests upon you, don't you go to a church that doesn't have Baptist on their name. Don't you go to a church that doesn't know what Bible to use. Don't you go to a church that, listen, they don't know what kind of songs to sing. They're just going to go along with what the world. Listen, you've been taught better. You're going out to battle. You've got decisions to make. Listen, we've taught you to win. We're sending you out to the battle. You better be ready.
Right, yes, sir.
You better be ready.
Yes, sir.
He's saying, listen, you can overcome these strongholds. Listen, how Israel was being dominated by the Philistines. Some young men in here, you're being dominated by sin and by the devil. Listen, can I tell you, you don't have to be like that anymore?
Amen.
You can throw that stuff off of you, but you got to listen to the orders. We're sending you out to battle. That's what I want to preach on for the next few moments today. Sending you out to battle. And by the way, you say, that sounds kind of harsh, Brother Tom. Why are you sending us out to battle? Just to remind you, we're all in the battle. I'm in the battle. You're in the battle. All of us are in the battle. But we're trying to teach you how to handle yourself so that when you get on the battlefield, you know what to do. Sending you out to battle. Can I tell you also before we start, the battle has already started.
That's right.
Listen, the devil doesn't wait for the bell to ring for you to get in the ring and fight him. Listen, he's coming after you immediately.
Right.
Any way he can get into your life, any way he can infiltrate into your life, he's going to go for it. So Samuel is telling them what it takes to win. And he's sending them out to battle. I love his statements here, and let's get into them. Number one, he challenges their commitment. Right from the jump, he challenges their commitment. Verse number 3. Samuel is the man of God. He's the prophet of the Lord. And Samuel, verse number 3, spake unto all the house of Israel. He calls them all up. And he says to them, if ye do return unto the Lord with all your hearts. Now, notice that first word in his phrase, guys, if. That's a condition. Okay? He's saying, listen, I don't know. I don't think the Bible goes into detail. Maybe perhaps when it says they lamented, the verse before that, maybe they had a desire to get right. Maybe they were crying at the altar. Maybe they're saying, man, we want to get right with God. We're tired of this being beat down by our enemies. We want to get right. We want to get... I don't know what the specifics were of this, but Samuel kind of calls them out on it, and he challenges their commitment right from the jump, Hansel. It's as if they're getting up from the altar, and he says, you real? You real about this? Listen, are you real about this? He challenges it. If ye do return to the Lord with all your heart. He's saying, do you really mean business here? Is this for real? Is this serious? Listen, is this you just lying at the altar again? Is this just you getting caught up in the emotional frenzy, but there's no real substance to it? There's no realness to it? Is that what's going on with you guys? He challenges their commitment. He's saying, are you for real with this talk that you're giving to me? He says, we'll find out because there's a factual test. He's saying, I'll tell you if you're real or not. He challenges their commitment. Listen, guys, can I just remind us before we move on? We need to always check our commitment level to the Lord all the time.
Yeah,
all the time. Listen, I don't care if you've been coming since you were born. Where is your commitment level today?
Right.
Today. Listen, I've said it in the last couple of weeks, but I'll say it again. Listen, if your friends roll out, how about you? Are you committed to the Lord for yourself? If your family, if they come with you and you've been coming your whole life, listen, what if, God forbid, something happens and they get tipped off at the church and they leave? How about you? How about it? Listen, guys, this stuff happens all the time, but Johnny, I think for the most part, we don't even consider this stuff, and then it happens, we just, okay. Because we never thought about it ahead of time. Listen, can I remind you, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego didn't get in the fire and then say, hey boys, what should we do? They decided way before the fire got cranked up, listen, I don't care what we go into, I don't care what persecution comes our way, we are not bowing. So even when they got thrown in the fiery furnace, they still weren't gonna bow. Listen, they didn't decide when they're falling in the fire. They decided a long time beforehand.
Right.
How about you?
Yeah. Huh.
He challenges their commitment. He's saying, guys, you're for real about this, and if you are, I'm gonna give you a test. Point number 2, clean out the corruption. Clean out the corruption. Listen, if you are real about serving God, we're sending you out to battle. And some people say, yeah, Brother Tom, listen, I'm not trying to bang on nobody. I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings. Listen, but I've had some guys that say, yeah, Brother Tom, I want to preach one day. Yeah, I want to have a church one day. I want to be a man of God. But then they can't come to church faithfully.
Huh.
Can I just say, whoa, buddy, your commitment level is not nearly what it should be. You guys know from playing football. Listen, when you sign up for the team, you're signing up, you're committing to be there the whole season and to work your butt off. Am I right?
Yeah.
Listen, even when it's hard and when it hurts and when it's hot outside and you're dying out there, they say, listen, you signed up. You're thinking, I shouldn't have signed up, but it's too late now. All right? You get out there, you keep running, you keep working out. You say, my shoulders, my arms, they're exploding. Keep exploding because you got to. Listen, but in the Christian life, listen, as soon as someone tears our track up, as soon as someone slams the door in our face, as soon as someone doesn't like us because we're Christians, we start thinking, you know what, I'm going to trade in my commitment.
Huh.
Hey guys, can I tell you, we've got to step that up.
Yes.
That shouldn't even, listen, that should not even be a consideration. If it is, ask God to forgive you and move on. Say, God, I need to be more committed. Listen, how about when Jesus, when he got on the cross, before he got on the cross, listen, I didn't hear from Scripture the first time he got whipped. He said, whoa, 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 no, I did not sign up for this. Whoa, whoa, people about to spit on me. No, hold on, stop. Man, they're cussing at me. They're mocking. This hurts me. I'm done. Listen, he should have been ashamed of us, but he wasn't.
Yeah.
We've got nothing to be ashamed with him.
Right, yes, sir.
That's right.
Hey, can I just ask you, I'm not saying you're going to be a perfect Christian. I'm far, far, far from it. Okay? But how committed are you? In case of every time you get tired, every time you get hurt in the football game, you're not trying to quit. You're committed to this thing. Listen, that's great to be committed to a football team or basketball team or baseball team. But guys, our commitment level in the Christian life is so shabby.
Right.
I'm telling you, we're a little tired, and the Michael, we're like, no, I'm not committed to God anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Someone talks to us a certain way we don't really care for, or the preaching kind of steps on our toes, we don't really care for that. Or I'm not doing it anymore.
Wow.
You're not committing to me. You're not committing to the church. You're committing to Jesus Christ.
Right.
Listen,
Yeah.
we need to be a lot stronger in our commitment, a lot more loyal. Look up the word loyalty, okay? Just this week. We need to learn in our generation what loyalty means.
Yeah.
And get a hold of that and live it out. Listen, can I, while I'm in the neighborhood, knock on this door too? When you get married one day, you shouldn't even consider quitting. You shouldn't even consider
Yes,
it.
sir. That's good.
Shouldn't even come up.
Yeah.
It shouldn't even, listen, you might hit some rocky times, but it shouldn't even come into your mind. And if it does, God forgive me, we're going to keep going forward.
Right.
Yeah,
Right,
that's the way it
sir.
should be. Listen,
Right.
because if you're going to quit, you might as well never get married.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Right.
Amen.
Listen, I'm telling you right now, you better get this stuff locked in your heart now. And as a Christian, listen, when people start laughing at you, don't start turning back saying, man, I should have never signed up for that. No, you made the greatest decision of your life. Listen,
Yeah.
you stick with Jesus. Listen,
Right.
he may be beat down now. He may be mocked now. He may be cussed at now. And people may use his name as a cuss word. Listen, one day he's coming back and he's taking over this place.
Right.
You won't be ashamed of him then. You'll
Yeah.
start being ashamed of him now. Amen. Clean out the corruption. Samuel says, listen guys, if you really do return unto the Lord with all your hearts, if you're for real about it, okay. Number 2, clean out the corruption. He says, listen, if you do return unto the Lord with all your hearts, if you mean business about this, then what are we supposed to do? Put away the strange gods and Ashtaroth from among you. Now these were false gods that these people had in this day and age. Listen, they're trying to say they want to get right with God, but they still have the idols in the background. He says, no. If you're real about this, if you really want to get sent out to battle and be victorious and conquer the enemy in your life, listen, if you're for real, then get rid of that stuff. Hey guys, I don't know how specific I'll get. I may get very, I don't know. But if you're committed to the Lord, some stuff needs to go. Some stuff needs to go. But you know what? Again, getting back to point number 1, we're not that committed. So Walter, as soon as we start talking about music, some guys, I ain't coming back here no more.
Huh.
Can I tell you that's not going to change the Bible?
Right. Yes, sir.
And that's not going to change God.
Right.
Okay? When we get on your attitude, you need to respect authority. Listen, guys, that's for all of us. That's for me. That's for all of us.
Yeah.
We're not changing it just so we can beat you down. Okay? That's for everybody. But listen, you need to respect authority. You need to honor your parents. This stuff is in the Bible.
Amen.
Okay? You need to keep a clean mouth. Listen, there shouldn't be dirty jokes coming out of your mouth. There
Right.
shouldn't be cuss words. God
Yeah.
help us when Christians can walk around and cuss and say, I'm under grace. God ought to smack you down and teach you what real grace is all about.
Yeah. Right.
Listen, he died for our sins. How do we expect us to get away and it's no big deal anymore? Clean out the corruption. Listen, he says, listen, you got to love Samuel. He would not be a popular pastor in this day and age. He comes up to him, Samuel, we want to get right with God. He says, oh, you're for real? Okay, get rid of your false gods. Samuel, don't we get a hug? No. Get rid of your false gods. Can you sign my Bible? No, get rid of your false gods. Hey guys, if you want to live for God, what in your life needs to go? Are there some friends? Are there some girls you got your eye on? Is there some thought patterns that you need to get out of your mind? If there's some stuff you click on that you shouldn't have ever clicked on? Listen, I don't know, but there's some stuff in all of our life that need to go.
Amen.
Pride,
sir.
lust, and
Right.
envy, and jealousy, and bitterness, and anger problems. Listen, that stuff needs to go. Disrespect,
Right.
that stuff
Yeah.
needs to go.
Yes, sir.
He's saying, listen, are you for real? Man, we ought to have this message at youth conference. Are you for real? If you are, stuff needs to go.
Yeah. Yes,
The
sir.
problem is we don't change anything. And then we wonder 6 months later, nothing's happened. I guess God's not real. God's real. The problem is you're not changing. You're not doing what he's telling you to do.
Yeah.
Amen.
That's right.
That's right.
Clean out the corruption. Listen, this is a strong message from this man. He says, separate from this stuff. Listen, we're in a church that believes in separation. You say separation. What does that mean? You know, the girl sits there and I said, yeah, basically, that's one of them, right? That's one thing. But we're talking about separation from the world.
That's right.
Yes,
Listen,
sir.
guys, if you're trying to be like Jesus, you will be unlike the world.
Right.
That's right.
Okay? So we don't just look at the world and whatever they do, we're not going to do it. We say, what is going to make us more like the Lord? And if we get close to him, we'll be unlike them. Listen, if you check your music with God all the time, Hansel, you're not going to be listening to stuff that sounds like what the world listens to.
Exactly.
You're not.
Amen.
If you're worried about holiness and righteousness and godliness, listen, the world doesn't care about those things. It doesn't care about those things. Listen, a Christian man, listen, if he's trying to follow God and be a godly man, listen, he's going to come to church, he's going to dress up, he's going to try to look sharp, he's going to try to do all these things. In my mind, I'll just throw it out there. In my mind, he's not going to be worried about, man, I want to get this piercing and I want to dye my hair.
Exactly.
18 different colors, look like a rainbow threw up on my head. Listen, he's not going to have that kind of stuff. That stuff doesn't come from trying to be a godly man.
Yeah.
That comes from looking at worldly men and saying, yeah, I want to be like that.
Huh. Yes, sir.
Listen, so what's the deal?
Yeah.
Our class verse is that thou mayest walk in the way of good men. Listen, we're not trying to put celebrities up in front of you guys and say be like them.
Yeah.
Movie stars and athletes. Listen, some of these athletes, we may be astounded by what they can do physically on a ball court or on a field. Listen, guys, but some of their personal lives are jacked up.
Yeah.
You don't follow them in
Yeah.
their personal lives. Listen, you can cheer for them on the ball court, but listen, some of those guys, once they get off the court, don't cheer for them anymore.
Exactly.
In fact, if you want to look for an example, look what not to do from them.
Yeah.
True.
Are you kidding me? Some of these guys, man, these guys are crazy. They should be in the loony bin, man. Antonio Brown, for one, all right? Let's
Yeah.
put him in there.
Yeah.
Crazy. Nuts. And he's blaming everybody else. It's all their fault. No, it's your fault. You're nuts.
Right.
Okay? If you keep your mouth shut, you'd have millions of dollars in your bank account right now. Clean out the corruption. It's a strong message from Samuel. I need to slow down. It's a strong message from him. It's a call to be separate. Hey guys, are there things in your life you need to separate from? That I and that thing, there's a distance between us. Hey, is there a friend? Is there a girl? Is there something that's leading you closer and closer to sin? A song you like, a show you like. Well, it's funny or it's interesting or this, but it has some junk sprinkled in. There's a lot of shows like that
That's
nowadays.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You better be very careful. It's a strict message. Man, can you imagine? They're expecting a hug from Samuel. I won't call him Samson. He's definitely not like Samson, right? They're expecting a hug from Samuel. He comes up and he says, get rid of that junk.
Yeah. Yeah.
That kind of offends me. No, he says, that's what you need.
Yeah.
It's the best thing for you. It's a strict message. Listen, guys, that's why people come in here into our church and they think, man, these people don't love anybody. No, we love you.
Right.
We love you enough to tell you the truth.
Right.
Some people don't.
Right.
Okay? It's a strict message. It's severe. He's saying, cut this off. Listen, guys, he doesn't say lessen up. He doesn't say don't do it as much. You can still keep it, and so you can still listen to that music, but just not on church property. That's not what he's saying. He's saying completely eradicate it from your life. Get rid of it completely.
Yep.
You say, that's tough. Yeah, but it's the best thing for you.
Yep.
Listen, when something's bad for you, the doctor doesn't just say, okay, you probably shouldn't eat a dozen donuts a day. It's probably not good. Cut it down to about 3 or 4. No, he said, get rid of them. Stop eating them.
Yep.
Yeah.
No more? But I love Dunkin' Donuts. I love Krispy. He's saying it's going to love you into the grave if you keep eating them.
Right.
Yeah.
Listen, we're going to give you a donut casket if you don't want to, right? Listen, we'll get you a huge Krispy Kreme box and just bury you in that thing, all right? Listen, he's saying no, cut it off completely. If you don't get this thing under control, it's going to kill you.
Right.
Guys, some of the things in our life, we need to cut it off completely, no more.
That's right,
Yes,
bro.
sir.
We don't like hearing that stuff, but that's what the Bible says. He's saying, listen, if you're real, if you're really committed to this, if you say you want to get right with God and you meant it, which that's a whole different story, but if you did, get rid of it.
Yep.
Clean out the corruption. It's a straight message. Listen, guys, that's the kind of messages that we want to preach around here, and we never want to change that.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
We don't want to start getting wobbly and start curving our messages because some of the guys don't really care for it. Listen, I've had guys in the class, they don't like when I get on certain subjects. I'm not trying to offend them, but you know what? God's word doesn't change because they don't like it.
Exactly.
Because
Yes,
I don't
sir.
like it. It doesn't change.
Yep.
It does not change.
That's right.
Okay? Listen, we live in a different day and age. That doesn't change God. And that doesn't change God's mind.
Amen.
God knows what's right. He knows what's wrong. He's told us. And it's not going to change. Well, I mean, the world says legalizing weed is fine. Listen, the Bible says you shouldn't mess with it at all.
Yeah.
Amen.
Right.
Right.
Yes, sir.
I don't like that. That offends me. Well, sorry. But it's the best thing for you. Okay? Listen, and it's amazing to me, I think the stat was about the e-cigarettes. A couple years ago, people, oh, this is better, it'll help you get off smoking cigarette. Now there's all these studies, it's killing people. People are in the hospital and it's thinking, wow, it's a good thing we just stayed away from it completely a couple years ago. Instead of compromising and saying,
Yeah.
well, it's
Right.
not as bad.
Huh.
You need to clean out corruption. We're coming back to 1 Samuel, so don't lose your place. But I want everyone, please, to go to Matthew chapter 6. If you do have a pen, check this out. You may need it. If someone near you has one, maybe say, hey, can I borrow it? Okay? Because you may need it here in a second. Clean out the corruption. That's what we're talking about. Matthew chapter 6, verse number 24. It's a short verse. I'll give you a short phrase, but there's a couple words that are extremely important. I was thinking about this last night. Matthew chapter 6, verse number 24. Let's see. Michael, you got it? Are you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, can you read that for me? Verse number 24.
No man can serve two masters, for either he will.
That's good. That's good.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Read the first phrase again. You're fine.
No man can serve two masters.
Right there. No man can serve two masters. What does that mean? Okay.
You can't serve two people at once.
Right. You're going to be divided, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be one or the other. And what are the first two words of that phrase?
No man.
No man. What is it?
No man.
No man.
What is it?
No man.
All right. Can you underline those two words in your Bible, please? If you need a pen, talk to somebody. They probably have it near you. No man. And then, if you want to, yeah, Sean's got me. We got a bunch of pens here. Anybody need a pen? He's right there. If you need it. No man. And then after you underline it, can you write next to it, I'm not the first? You're like, huh? Right next to it, I'm not the first. You don't have to do this. This is your choice, but I'm suggesting this very strongly to you. Because you know what we think? We think, oh, I can do it. I know God says nobody can do it, but I can do it. I'm the exception. I'm the rule. I'm smarter than that. I'm more slick than that. No, I can do it. I can serve God on Sunday and then do my own thing the rest of the week, and I can do it. No, the Bible says no man. It's impossible.
Yeah.
Right.
No man can serve two masters.
Yeah.
Either you'll love the one and hate the other, you'll hold the one and despise the other. You cannot, very, very strong word, cannot serve God and mammon. That means money. You can't do both.
That's right.
You can't do both. No man. So you need to put, I won't be the first. Listen, guys, you won't change the Bible, you won't change God's rules.
Right. Yes,
Okay?
sir.
And he says, no man can serve two masters. Listen, you can't say I'm putting God first and then have something else in this place. And
Right.
try to go back and forth.
Yeah.
You cannot do it. I can't do it. No one can do it. You can go back to Samuel. The Bible also talks about in 2 Corinthians 6:14, it says that we shouldn't be unequally yoked together with unbelievers.
Right.
You guys have heard this a million times. You shouldn't even think about dating a girl that's unsaved or it's not spiritual. When she
Yeah.
comes to
Right.
church, and
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah.
what's her attitude like? I'm not talking when you come around, she gets all smiley and you get all smiley. I'm talking about how she respected her authority.
It's
Did
good.
you ever talk back?
Yeah.
She does. Probably shouldn't mess with her. Because one day you're going to say, hey dear, and she's going to be talking back to you. Booyah. Try that on for size, buddy. Listen, challenge their commitment. There's a clean out of corruption. Number 3, he says you need to consecrate completely. Back in 1 Samuel 7, verse number 3, he says, if you do return to the Lord with all your hearts, I'm calling out your commitment, then put away the strange gods and Ashtaroth from among you. This is a fertility god. It was all kinds of sexual behavior along with it. He's saying, hey guys, if you're for real about getting God at number 1 in your life, get rid of that stuff completely. Cut it
Yeah.
off. Number 3, he says, consecrate completely. He says, and prepare your hearts unto the Lord. Prepare your hearts unto the Lord. What's that? What do you guys think that means? Prepare your hearts unto the Lord. Any ideas? Yeah.
It's kind of like a check yourself.
Check yourself. Okay. Anybody else? That's a good thought. Michael?
Always be ready to hear from the Lord.
Okay.
Kind of confess and repent.
Okay. Good.
Be ready what the Lord. Be ready for what the Lord has for you.
Yep. Prepare your hearts unto the Lord. Guys, this isn't just an outward, external thing. This is an internal thing. First of all, you know how you prepare your heart with the Lord? Guys, it happens in secret meetings. You say, we're talking about spies now? No. Secret meetings as in between you and God.
Yeah.
I believe that's how you prepare your heart unto the Lord. Listen, guys. Who I am is not me behind the pulpit. Who I am is not when I raise my voice preaching. Who I am is not when I'm giving out tracts necessarily or witnessing to people or on riding the bus or whatever. That's not who I am. Who I am really is when it's me and God and no one else.
Yeah.
That's really who I am and that's all I am.
Yeah.
Prepare your heart to meet God. He's saying a secret meeting. The Bible says in Psalm 91:1, he that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. You want God's power, you want God's help, you want God to help you soul winning or preaching or just living for God or in your prayer life, whatever it may be, you got to find that secret place with God. You got to get everybody else away. You got to get your phone out of there, off your mind, turn the TV off, turn the internet off, get focused, get your Bible out, get on your knees, and meet with God.
Amen.
That is huge.
Yeah.
Some of us wonder why we're so weak spiritually. You say, I don't know how these missionaries and these preachers can do it. Man, they're so strong. They're like super Christians. No, they meet with God.
Right. Yes, sir.
And they get that strength that no one else can give to them. Listen, and sometimes we all feel so weak because we haven't spent enough time with God. A secret meeting. Also, you have to settle the meaning. What I mean by that is you got to make up your mind. Listen, guys, this kind of harkens back to the commitment level. Are you really in this thing all the way? Guys, I need you to think about this, okay? Are you really in this thing all the way? Okay? There may be some bumps in the road. There may be some difficulties, and there will surely be some tough times in your life. But have you made up your mind saying, no matter what comes my way, I'm going to continue on with this? Listen, that's something that we should be very serious and sober about and think. Listen, because if not, we're going to be saying, can we go back to the station because I want to get off the ride, but it's too late. Listen, you make up your mind and say, God, I want to be clean and pure and wholly given to you, all of me. That's what preparing your heart is all about. Secret meeting, settling the meaning, a strong mindset. Listen, when you do get to those points, when you consider quitting and giving up, and man, this is so hard. Listen, Hebrews 12:3, can I challenge you to think of that? Hebrews 12:3, for consider him, the him is referring to Christ, for consider him who endured such contradiction of sinners against himself, lest, why? You be weary and faint in your minds. He's saying, listen, you need to take some time and think about Christ and what he did for you. And that needs to stir up a passion and a loyalty in your heart to say, you know what? Jesus did not quit on me. He didn't quit on me. He loved me that much. He loved me to death, and I don't want to give up on him. Guys, that's what it needs to do. Listen, he didn't quit on you. Don't quit on him. And number two, he's going to give you the power that you need to get through it. If you hold on to him. If you quit, then it negates the whole thing. But if you hold on to his power and say, God, I can't do this unless you help me, he'll help you through it. Hebrews 12:3 is a great verse. And then you need to start moving. Number 4. Yeah, we're up to number 4. Contribute to his cause. Contribute to his cause. Listen, he's saying, if you do return to the Lord with all your hearts, I'm challenging your commitment. Are you real about this? We're sending you out to battle. Listen, guys. Do you want to graduate high school, go into college, and mess your life up there? You want to do that? Mm-hmm. No. Do you want to go into marriage and say, oh, dude, this is a lot tougher than I thought. I'm quitting. After 2 years, the marriage explodes. You want to do that? No, of course not. Right? Do you want to be a man of God that reaches other people? Yeah, we want that. You want to make a positive difference in this world? Yeah, we should all want that. Do we want God's perfect will for our life? Of course, we should want that. And we're trying to prepare you to send you out for battle. What challenges your commitment? Guys, you need to love the Lord enough to be committed to him no matter what comes your way. Does it get hard sometimes, Hansel? It does. Does it get hard sometimes? It gets hard sometimes. You know what? But you need to love the Lord enough to say, God, I'm sticking with you through this. Yeah. You got to get that commitment. Listen, and if you're really committed, you got to clean out some stuff in your life. Hey. Do you love God enough to give up your music? Whoa. Yeah. Where'd that come from, Brother Tom? Right here in the text. Yeah. All right? That's where it came from. Listen. Do you love God enough to not pursue certain girls because they're going to lead you away from the Lord, not closer to the Lord? That's when, like my family used to say, the rubber meets the road. I don't totally understand what that means, but that means when we get down to business, right? When we get down to the nitty gritty, right? That's what I know he's gonna laugh. Listen, because that stupid movie. All right, listen. That's when it really gets down to it, guys. When our love for the Lord will cause us to do certain things that are tough and to not do other things that are tough because we say, you know what? Because I love the Lord, it changes my decision. Yeah. Yes. Your Christianity needs to get to that level. Right. If it's not, you keep reading your Bible, being faithful to church, and asking God, God, help me to love you more and serve you and get busy. Number 4, contribute to his cause. At the end of the verse, or close to the end of the verse, he says, and serve him only. Hey guys, when we talk about serving the Lord, listen, serving the Lord, we're talking about doing something. Doing something. Yeah. Getting out there, giving out tracts, visiting people, praying for people, studying for messages, studying for lessons. Listen, that's what we're talking about, serving the Lord. Working the bus route, helping out in the class. That's serving the Lord. Serving the Lord is not just necessarily sitting on a chair saying, That's a part of it. That's fine. It's good. It's helpful. But that's not all there is to serving the Lord. Right, yeah. Serving the Lord says, I don't mind carrying that. I don't mind helping out. I don't mind sweeping up or picking up trash. I don't mind encouraging this little kid or this bad kid that's misbehaving. I'm trying to help him get back in class and behave. Right? That's serving the Lord. And some of you guys already are, and I'm proud of you for doing it. But if you're not, have you jumped in yet? Have you gotten involved in helping out? Listen. You could come to me or Brother Josh or different people and say, hey, can we help you out with anything? Because what happens? A lot of people in the church, they're doing 500 jobs and they're running around like a chicken with their head cut off, right? Have you ever seen it? Yeah. I've been in it sometimes. Back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Listen, why don't you say, hey, can I do something for you? Can I take one of those 500 things off your plate? Guys. Well, I'm about to say I'm not trying to get in your business, but I'm about to right here, okay? Listen, instead of seeing what girls hanging out in the hallway before class starts so I can, hey, how are you? How you forget all that and say, what can I do? What can I do to serve God here in the next 5 minutes? Yes. It's good one, Tom. Some guys like,
I get here on time.
Sorry. Hey, guys, that's what I'm talking about. Listen, I used to visit with a whole group of guys 10 years ago. Okay? We'd come in here after visiting. We've been out all day visiting. And some of the guys, they would walk in and we'd be having an event at the church, a wedding or something going on. And there's always stuff to do. There's always chairs to take care of, tables and things to set up. Some of the guys who God had really used in the last several years would say, hey, Mr. you need help with anything? Now, they may have been thinking on the inside, I hope she doesn't. Yeah, amen. That's now we're preaching. Axel's like, thank the Lord. I'm running around the class. say, he said, this is expired. Listen, what they say, Miss Christina, can we help out, do anything? I had a whole nother group of the guys, you know what they're doing? Going in the bathroom and check their hair. I'm not saying I want you to have messy looking hair, okay? If you want to do that, good for you. But take care of that in the morning. And when you show up, especially on God's property, why don't you say, what can I do? What can I do?
Man.
Man, I'm tired. What you been doing? Video game. No, you're not tired. You're lazy.
Right.
It's a difference.
Yeah.
It's a difference. Listen, I'm serious. Listen, some teenagers walk around like they're 70 years old. You all right, man? I'm tired. You haven't been doing nothing. Come on, man. Listen, and you expect when you're 40 or 50 to be serving God, you don't stand a chance.
Right.
All right? At 17, you need a walker. All right? Listen, get over yourself and say, listen, I can help out. Listen, those that serve God, Sean, those that serve God don't have a, miracle energy drink that they drink before they show up to church and then they just, hence it. What happened? Did unicorn blow up on that? Listen. But we don't walk into church and, super Christians. No, most of them are tired and worn out too.
Yep. Yeah.
But they don't use that as an excuse.
Yep. No.
Right.
Guys. Brother Bob's an older guy, but Brother Bob serves God harder than most of us.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
Brother Mike, with all his health problems, cancer, hello,
Yeah.
doesn't let us slow him down.
Right.
Right. We don't have an excuse. But listen, let's start thinking about this. If you need to write it on a Post-it note and put it on your shirt and say, what can I do to serve God in the next 5 minutes to change your thinking pattern? I won't have a problem with it. If you need to put it on your phone so that when you're checking your phone to see if anybody texts you, which they did, all right? What can I do to serve God in the next 5 minutes or 10 minutes? I guarantee you there's chairs to put out.
Yeah.
We're not bragging on us, but Sean, what were we doing? We're trying to help a class before the teacher got there, keep the kids from tearing down the church and going crazy, acting like animals, right? Hey, you know what? We're trying to circle, and we're not anything special, but you can jump in and say, what can I do? But Dave, you need help? Josh, you need help? Can we do something for you? Guys, that's a spirit that God can use. I didn't mean to speak so long on that part, but I think it's needed. What are you doing for the Lord to be devoted to it? Serve Him only. Let's finish this off. Point number 5. The conquering that will come. At the end of verse number 3, he says, and He will, talking about God will deliver you out of the hand of the Philistines. Hey guys, when you get these steps in your life, you get really committed. You get so committed that you push other things out of your life. You start consecrating your heart to God, meeting with Him every day, and keeping a clean and sincere and yielded heart to God every day. And then that turns into you serving God. I mean, you show up to the grocery store and Darren, you start thinking, man, what can I do to serve God here? Instead of thinking about getting your eggs and your milk, you're thinking, who can I give a tractor to?
Yeah.
See, that's a whole thinking change. Okay? Why would we think like that and live like that and behave like that? It's because we've prepared our heart unto the Lord.
Right.
Before we leave the house, we say, God, use me today. God, show me the opportunities. God, change my way of thinking. Listen, you say, are you perfect? No, not even close. But if you prepare your heart unto the Lord, listen, guys, it helps you get your thinking straight so you can serve God when you're out. Okay? Number 5, the conquering that will come. He's saying, listen, if you do these things in your life, then God will give you deliverance over the Philistines. Guys, can I tell you, if you get these steps in your life, God's going to give you some victory in your life. Victory over temptations, victory over strongholds that the devil's beat you down with. Maybe the devil has one play that he always runs in your life that you can't do anything about it. You can't stop it. You know what? If you start doing these things, you say what things? Committed, cleaning out your life, getting the junk out, consecrating your heart unto God every day, and start to serve God, those 4 things. You start doing that, God's going to start giving you victory.
Yeah.
And you're going to start saying, wow, I used to struggle with cussing out. Man, God's giving me victory over that. And I used to struggle with my way of thinking or the music that God's helped me. Things have changed. Listen, and it's not you that did it, but it's God working through you. But you have to do these steps to get Him activated in your life. The conquering that will come, He'll give you deliverance. Guys, that's what Samuel said, right? Verse number 3. That was all him, basically giving his sermon to them. I wonder how they reacted, right? Verse number 4. They reacted properly, thank the Lord. Then the children of Israel did put away Balaam and Ashtaroth and serve the Lord only. Okay, we're starting to do something here. Not only that, when he told them in verse number 5, Samuel said, gather all Israel to Mizpah, and I will pray for you unto the Lord. He was gathering them all up to this one place, and eventually this would lead to them getting into battle, and they responded. They reacted when prompted. You know how we can tell if God's really starting to do a work in you is when we tell you to do something, what your reaction is to it.
Yeah.
Whew! How often, Sean, at youth conference, people down there, and then they get up, hey, can you help us out? We got some chairs and tables to carry. I'm not doing that. But maybe you need to get back down to the altar, because I don't think your heart is where it needs to be, buddy.
That's right.
Yeah.
Or, man, God really spoke to us, man, at the youth activity, God helped us, or at the conference we went to, God really helped us. Hey, what have you been listening to? Man, get off my music, this isn't your business, get out of my life. Whoa, buddy.
Yeah.
All I said is, what's the deal with this?
Right.
I think maybe you need to go back to the conference or
Yes.
camp or
Yeah.
youth activity, because I don't think you
Yeah.
got what you needed there.
It's good.
I don't think they put in the grocery bag what you said you bought, because it ain't there.
Yeah.
The conquering that will come. Listen, there's a reaction that's proper. They reacted properly when prompted. Samuel said, hey guys, meet me over here because we got to get ourselves right with God. They all come. And then verse number 6, I'm not going to read it all, but halfway through the verse they said, we have sinned against the Lord. You know what they did? They repented.
That's right.
They said, God, I did wrong. Hey guys, can you admit when you're wrong? Can you admit when you're wrong? Some of us really struggle with that. No, man, it was him. No, it wasn't him. It was him, you, me, all right? And then last thing, the conflict that commenced. They got right with God. Everything's great now, right? The enemies just found out they got right with God and left and said, no, we're never going to fight these guys. They love God now. Is that what happened? No. A battle happened. And guys, can I tell you, listen to me, please. Hold on, time out. Can I tell you this? When you do really get right with God and it starts to show up in your actions, the devil gets loaded for bear and gets loaded for battle and says, oh yeah, we'll see about that. Let's go. And he comes after you. Some of us think when we hit the altar and we prayed and we told it all to God that everything's going to be easy now and we're going to go skipping through the aisles because everything's a bed of roses. No, my friend, the devil's going to throw everything at you he's got and more because he says, listen, if I let him get victory a little while, he's going to think he can keep getting victory. What happens when, what happens when a good team faces a bad team in the NFL? If the good team doesn't smash them down most of the time in the first or second quarter, that little team that's nothing thinks they can play with them. And truth be told, Kevin, 10 times out of 10, they can't.
Right.
But they give them confidence. And this guy that's nothing, that's thrown 13 interceptions and 2 touchdowns, he throws a couple touchdowns, he's saying, man, I can play with these guys. No, he can't. But he's gotten confidence because the other team hasn't smashed him down. Listen, that's why the devil tries to smash you down after youth conference or when you get right with God, because he's saying, listen, I can't give this dude confidence. I've been having my foot on his neck for a long time. I can't let him up now. He might think he can do something. Hey guys, be ready. When you say you get right with God, be ready for battle. It's coming. Get your armor on. Meet with God. Say, God, I need your strength today. I want to give out those tracts, but I'm weak. I want to pray, but my mind is all distracted. God, I want to read my Bible and I want to learn from you, but God, sometimes it's so hard to focus. God, help me. The devil's coming after me.
Amen.
Hey guys, get ready for battle.
Yeah.
The conflict that commenced. Verse number 7. We're almost done. Thank the Lord, right? When the Philistines heard that the children of Israel were gathered together to Mizpah, the lords of the Philistines went up against Israel. That's what I was just talking about. When they heard that all the children of Israel gathered together, you know what the Philistines did? Not today, boys. We're going to knock them back down to size. Get your weapons on. Get your swords loaded up. Let's go. We got to take these guys down. We've been dominating them for years, and now they think they can rise up against us. Oh, no. That's exactly what I was talking about. When you start living for God, the devil says, I don't think so. The foe stood up against them. And what happened? Hey guys, what happens when you get in battle? Do you just stand there and say, the Lord is with me? Or what do you say? Verse number 7 at the end of it, when the Philistines came up against them, and when the children of Israel heard it, they were afraid of the Philistines. That's real. That's real life. Guys, you don't stand there with your chest poked out saying, the Lord be with me. No, you're scared. You're saying, God, are you sure about this? You sure I can do this? That's real life. The fear that smote their hearts. But guys, can I remind you of this? When you're out there in the battle, and listen, that may be in the workforce one day, that may be at college, that may be whatever your future is, that may be in a marriage in the future or having kids and you're trying to fight to keep the family in the right direction. I don't know. But can I remind you of this? There's some people that are behind you, some people that care for you, and there's some people that are praying for you. Verse number 8, the children of Israel said unto Samuel, cease not to cry unto the Lord our God for us, that he will save us out of the hand of the Philistines. Hey guys, there's some people praying for you. They got your back. You got some backup in this.
Right.
Listen to me.
Yeah.
You're going to college and you're at the workforce and different things are out there. You're out in the world and you're struggling, you're fighting, you're battling. Listen, there's some people got your back.
Yeah.
Amen.
And then we'll finish this off. Verse 9 also, Samuel was praying for them. He took a suckling lamb, offered it a burnt offering holy unto the Lord, and Samuel cried unto the Lord for Israel. And the last phrase is very key. This is probably the turning point of the battle. And the Lord heard him. You say Samuel wasn't fighting. Oh yeah, he was. He was praying, but he was doing the real battling behind the scenes. And as Samuel was offering up the burnt offering, the Philistines, verse number 10, get this, drew near to battle against Israel. But the Lord thundered with a great thunder on that day upon the Philistines and discomfited them, and they were smitten before Israel. Guys, they go out to battle, and because of Samuel's prayers, God shows up, and there's some, it says here, the Lord thundered with a great thunder. Boom! All right, they're over there, and they're out for battle, and these guys are saying, what in the world is going on? They get freaked out. The Bible says it discomfited them. You say, what does that mean? It frustrated them, it confused them, it defeated them, it routed them. They didn't know what to do, but they freaked out and started running. You know, once they started running, the Israelites were, let's go get them. Verse number 11, the men of Israel went out to Mizpah and pursued the Philistines, smote them, and until they came unto Bethkar. There was a fearful striking. Listen, God showed up and God helped them in the battle. And they started running after him. I'm not going to read all these verses. Verse number 12, Samuel holds up this stone, and he's saying, listen, this is to commemorate all that God has done for us and how God has helped us. He calls it Ebenezer, which means the stone of help. God has helped us. And he sets a reminder to say, you know what, guys? God did this for us. Remember what that stone commemorates? That God did this for us. Hey, when God gives you victory and God helps you lead someone to the Lord, or you make some steps in your Christian life, or God helps you with whatever steps in your life, listen, why don't you set some reminders in your life and say, you know what, God did that for me. So that you don't start thinking, man, I was pretty good out there on the battlefield. No, you didn't do anything on the battlefield. God showed up and God started banging them guys, and they didn't know what to do. Listen, God did it. He set a reminder. He's saying, listen, God did this for us so that we don't forget. And these people, verse number 13, the Philistines were subdued and they came no more to the coast of Israel. Can I tell you, this is not going to happen to us. The devil's never going to be done fighting us until we get to heaven. Right. So this is not going to happen. Amen. Right. It said they beat the Philistines so bad that the Philistines didn't even mess with them anymore all the days of Samuel. Wow. But that's not going to happen for us. The devil's going to keep coming back. He's relentless. He never gives up. They remained away, and they had victory, and the Lord's hand was against the Philistines all the days of Samuel. And the last thing, I'm not going to read it, verse number 14, they took back some of the land. They regained some of the land that they had lost to the Philistines. Hey guys, wouldn't it be a great thing right now in your life that some of the territory that you've lost to the devil in your life, with God's help, and with you giving effort and faithfulness and diligence to it, wouldn't it be great? Listen, if God could help you regain that territory.
Amen. Yeah.
Say, Sean, man, my mind used to be messed up, man. I couldn't think a straight thought, man. It was terrible. You know what? God's helped me with that. Yeah. God's helped me with that. That would be a great thing for some of us. Listen, for some of us, it would be a great thing if you said, man, I used to really struggle with the kind of music I listened to. Man, that thing had a grip on me. It was in control of me. It was dominating me. But you know what? God's giving me victory now. Guys, that would be a great thing. And God can do that. There's still a problem. we don't do those first few points. We don't get committed. We don't clear that stuff out of our lives. We don't prepare our hearts before the Lord, and we don't serve God. We say we got right with God in our heart, but it never turns into any action. And then we wonder why God's not giving us victory, why we're still struggling in certain areas. Because we're not doing what God wants us to do.
Right.
Listen, what are we doing in this class? We're preparing you to send you out for battle.
Yes.
I don't know in what area that may be. That may be a different country. You may live in Bowie, Maryland the rest of your life. I don't know. But you know what? You're going to have a battle in your hands. A battle to live right. A battle to live pure and think pure. A battle to have a godly marriage, a godly family. Listen, it's a battle. So what are we doing in this class? We're sending you out to the battle. Amen.
Yeah.
But we're telling you, listen, if you're going to go out to the battle and be successful and survive through it, you got to get these first things hammered down. Because if you don't, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to slap you around and he's just trying to act like